Hey, I got a question for you. Do dirty cymbals sound better than clean cymbals? My name's Brian, this is my YouTube channel, and you and I, we're about to find out. All right, so the most popular video on this channel I recorded about 3 years ago, and it was called, Do Dirty Cymbals Sound Better Than Clean Cymbals? And there's been a lot of opinions about this. Now, the one critique in all of those comments was that I just played it up in my kitchen and you really couldn't tell what it was gonna sound like in the music, really. Everybody kind of, just based on the kitchen test, had their own opinions about whether or not that cymbal sounded better, dirty, or clean. Well, today we're gonna dive super, super deep, because what I've got today is this mid-60s Zildjian A ride cymbal. This came to me courtesy of my friend Jeff Jeffries. He has owned this cymbal since he was a teenager. His parents bought it with his very first Ludwig drum set back in the mid-60s, and he's had the cymbal ever since. He gifted it to me last year. Now, I want to be able to use this on a recording session this week, but I really think this cymbal doesn't sound as good as it could because it's dirty. I mean, take a look at this cymbal. If I rub my fingers over it, it almost has a texture of paper. There's so much gunk and dirt and stuff on this cymbal. Now, there's a lot of mojo about cymbals and age and gunk and dirt and smoke and beer stains and all the stuff. I don't know, man. In my opinion, and we're gonna find out, I don't think it makes the cymbal sound any better. So what we're doing today is we're gonna do some play tests. I'm actually gonna play this cymbal in a whole lot of different tracks. I'm gonna play this cymbal before I clean it, and then we're gonna do a whole battery going through all the same tunes after I clean the cymbal. It's gonna be as empirical as it possibly can. Now, everybody's opinion is going to differ, and I think it's the reason why this video is so popular, is that everybody's got their own opinion, their own old wives' tales, and their own spooky mojo about cymbals. So let's listen to this cymbal just straight out of the gate. No music, no nothing. Now I'm using just a regular ProMark 5A drumstick. Now let me play this cymbal and let you hear some of the different tones in the cymbal now. Now keep in mind, for all of these clips, we're going to put no EQ on the overheads. We're going to have everything just microphones through the pre's directly into Pro Tools, and a little bit of volume balance to make it work with the close mics. So that's what this cymbal sounds like on its own, but let's put it in context. I'm gonna play a few different snippets from a lot of different styles. We're gonna hear this cymbal in action. So there you go. That's what this cymbal sounds like right out of 1965 plus 50 plus years of dirt and gunk and grime on top. Almost to my touch, my hands feel dirty. That's how dirty the cymbal is. My hands feel dirty after I've been handling it for a while. But you'll notice with this cymbal, there's all kinds of green spots and there's all kinds of moisture stuff. There's a lot of stuff built up on here. We're going to take some very special cymbal cleaner and see if we can really bring this thing back to 1965. So if you like videos like this and you like this kind of content, make sure you hit subscribe and go ahead and bang that bell while you're at it so you get notifications every time I put a brand new video up. And go ahead and give this a thumbs up because that's how other people get a chance to see this video as well in their feeds. So let's go upstairs. All right, so we're in my kitchen now and we're gonna clean this cymbal. Now I'm gonna start with a newer product. This is Session Ace Shimmer, and it's perfect for cymbals just like this that have this crazy amount of stuff caked on them. I'm gonna wet this cymbal down just a little bit here, just a little bit of water on the cymbal. And I'm gonna take the Session Ace Shimmer and apply it directly to the cymbal. And we're just gonna cover this cymbal in Session Ace Shimmer. And once I've got a full application of that on the cymbal, I'm gonna let it sit for 60 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, just to let the solution really get into that dirt. So now I'm gonna take this cymbal scrubbing glove, I'm just gonna work that cleaner in a little bit, run it around. I can already see dropping off into the sink. I can already see some of this dirt coming off of this cymbal. I'm really just trying to work that stuff in. All right, so now that I've got the top layer of that gunk cleaned off and it's lost that papery texture, that real gritty papery texture that it had downstairs, I'm gonna go ahead and start to apply this Session Ace Shine. I'm gonna see if we can get this stuff to work down into the grooves of the cymbal and lift that dirt out of there. Work that cleaner into the cymbal. It's gonna take a little bit of elbow grease to get this stuff off. This dirt has been in this cymbal for probably 40 years. So it's gonna take a certain amount of rubbing to get all of this stuff out of here. If you look right here, you can see all of the dirt and gunk and stuff that's coming off of this cymbal as we're cleaning it. So the more I work this cymbal, the more I use that scrubbing glove to work down into those cracks and crevices, the more of this dirt and grime and funk I can get off of this cymbal. Something to remember too, and I don't know that people always understand about Session Ace Shine. Depending on the condition of the cymbal that you're trying to clean, cymbal may not come back looking exactly brand new, but look how much shinier that is already. We're getting all that dirt, all that gunk, all the mess off of the cymbal. Some of these dark spots I'm seeing now that we've got the cymbal fairly clean, I'm starting to see rust. And the only way you're really going to get rid of rust on a cymbal is to use some kind of abrasive to actually pull that off, to scour that off of the cymbal. But that's also going to take metal off the cymbal as well, and it's going to change the sound. We don't want that. So either one of these products, Session Ace Shine or Session Ace Shimmer, the job that these cleaners do is to pull the dirt and the grime and the gunk out of the pores of this cymbal. They're not really going to touch the patina. That comes from the oxidation of the metal over decades. Because this isn't an abrasive cleaner that's actually taken metal off of the cymbal, this is just a cleaner that's pulling the dirt out of those tonal grooves. You're not really going to lose the natural patina that comes from the metal's oxidation over time. The more I scrub, the more that you can see on the side of the sink, you can see more of this stuff that's just coming off of the cymbal. And it may take a few applications, a little bit of elbow grease, if this cymbal is in really, really bad shape. Feeling good about this. Yeah, that is looking great. So much better than when we started. You'll notice I'm using pretty hot water to rinse this cymbal. I just find that using warm to hot water is much more effective in cleaning these cymbals. Look at that. Completely different than when we started. Look at that shimmer coming back. All the greeny meanies are gone. I think we're going to get a much better sounding cymbal. Let's dry this thing off, take it downstairs, and have a little test drive. So what's the tale of the tape on this? Having played through a whole bunch of different musical examples, both the ones that are in this video and just a bunch of references that I had for myself, I gotta tell you, man, just like football and golf, this is a game of inches. I would have loved to be able to tell you that this cymbal sounds dramatically different once it was cleaned. But that's really not the truth. But again, game of inches. The 20% difference in the sound really does make a difference in the overall recording. There's some lower overtones in the cymbal that got brought out when you tamp down all of the high end that I would have had to EQ that stuff out in the mix. They were just weird low mid kind of junk in there that I would have had to have gotten rid of. And I would have had to crank up a little bit of high end to get that cymbal to cut in the mix a bit more, especially on the more contemporary stuff. In terms of playability, that's the biggest difference. And unfortunately, I don't know how to put that into a video for you other than to tell you. The whole time I was playing on the dirty cymbal, I just felt like I was hitting this lifeless piece of metal. It just wasn't really responding very well. I would hit it, and because there wasn't any sustain and the cymbal just didn't really vibrate a ton, it was just like, sometimes it was like hitting a manhole cover. I couldn't even get it to explode. Anytime I would want to really smack it and get it to explode, it was just like, that's what it felt like as I played the cymbal. I really had to work a whole lot to get what I was hoping to get out of the cymbal. Now, on the flip side, with the cleaned cymbal, not only did I get a lot brighter sound, but it had a lot more complex overtones to it. Really, with the dirty cymbal, there was a primary tone and all this low-mid junk. With this cymbal as it is now, there's some bright high stuff. There's some really cool stuff in the high-mid range that wasn't there before. And that problem that I had in the low-mid, it's not that it's not there in the cymbal anymore. It's just that it's not prominent because all these other frequencies are really taking the predominant role as I'm playing. Having more sustain on that cymbal, one of the places I could really tell it is on the jazz tune. The first time that I played through that jazz tune, I felt like I overplayed because the cymbal just would die in between each one of my hits. And so I started playing more to try and prop this thing up. But on the take where I played on the clean cymbal, the cymbal sounded so good that I didn't mind just playing cymbal rhythm with just with a little bit of comping underneath. The cymbal just had so much great sustain and it rang out so well that I didn't have to play as much. I didn't feel like I had to play as much. Now, on the Blakey tune, maybe the darker cymbal works for the Blakey sound. But for me, I felt like it was just a lot more fun to play. The cymbal reacted to my touch a lot more when it wasn't covered up in all that stuff that was on it. And now, if I want a cymbal that has less sustain, I could put one little piece of gaff tape on it and get something that's a little bit more muted or has a little less sustain to it. Now I have an option to get that. Before, when it was just the dirty cymbal, that was going to be the sound of the cymbal. And to my ear, I just didn't really like it very much. There's one other thing in the mix that I can tell from having done thousands of mixes, both here in my studio and other places. That cymbal is going to really EQ well so that it's going to just sit in the right place in the mix, and I'm not going to have to work to get it to pop out of the mix. With the dirty cymbal, I would have to do some work on the EQ and some of the compression and really work hard to make it poke out in the mix. The way it is with it clean like this, I'm not gonna have any problem with that at all. And there's an interesting sheen that I'm getting from this cymbal now that I did not get with the dirty cymbal. I'm hoping you're hearing it on the recording. It was definitely happening in my ears and when I listen here in the studio on the playback. If you've got some speakers, listen to all of these clips on a good set of speakers and see if you can tell the difference. You might only hear a 5 or a 10% difference in the sound. But again, both recording and live, this is a game of inches. And to me, that little extra bit that I get from this cymbal being clean and be able to fully give me all the tone and sustain and the high end that is in this cymbal, it makes it a cymbal I want to play. It makes it a cymbal that's a little bit more inspiring to me, both in terms of the sound and the reaction under the stick. So I really hope that we got to the bottom of something in this video. At least in this case, with these kind of cymbals, clean cymbals are better than dirty cymbals. They just are. I didn't draw that conclusion in the last video. I left it up to you, and I'm sure you're gonna leave some comments either way, which one you liked. The great thing about music is everybody's opinion is right, but I know for me, this is a much more playable cymbal now that we've unlocked it from this prison of dirt and gunk and grime. Now, there's an insight that I didn't really tell you about at the beginning of this video. Now, I could have made up a great story about where this cymbal came from and all of the stuff that was on it and the tens of thousands of hours of cigars and cigarettes. And here's the truth about this cymbal. For more than 30 years, this cymbal has been sitting in an attic. So most of the gunk that was on this cymbal was attic gunk. It was change in seasons, moisture, probably some insulation. There's just a lot of gunk that was on this cymbal that had you looked at the cymbal and not known its story, you would have really thought, well, this cymbal's been places. And that's just not the case. This cymbal for decades has been sitting alone in an attic that wasn't climate controlled. And it really shows, especially with some of the rust on the bottom. There's a few little spots of rust on the bottom we weren't able to get off. I think we tell ourselves a story about our cymbals. And all of that gunk and grime that's on our cymbals, it's our gunk. It's our grime. We feel like for one reason or another that cymbal is extra special because of all the crap that we've put on it over the years as we've carried it around to gigs and rehearsals and everywhere else that the cymbal has gone. And in truth, I think this is a great example of if I told you a story about all that gunk and grime, you would have formed an opinion in your brain based on what you thought about the story, not the actual sound of the cymbal, not the actual playability of the cymbal. Now that I've cleaned all the attic gunk off of it, we'll let it get a little bit dirty again over the next several years, and we'll see if it makes it sound any better. I don't think so. I think right now, with the oxidation that has happened over decades of just the metal being in contact with the air, and now that we've cleaned this thing and unlocked its potential, I think this cymbal is going to sound better than it ever has before. And it's only going to get better as we play great music and vibrate the molecules of this metal. And that's where the mojo really comes from. I think the mojo in a great sounding cymbal is all the notes that get played on it over the years, all of the vibrations that this metal goes through as we lovingly and painstakingly play music that we enjoy and have experiences with other people as we play music that leave a mark on us. I think that's what makes those cymbals sound better. Not the dirt, not the gunk, not the grime. It's the time. Please make sure, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Bang that bell so that every time I put a new video up, you'll get a notification. And please hit the thumbs up, because that's what tells YouTube that more people should see this video. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your comments. Leave some comments underneath. If you like this cymbal cleaner, I have to tell you about it because it's my own little side hustle company, Session Ace Shine. It's available at sessionace.com. It really does a great job of extracting all the dirt out of the pores, out of the sonic grooves on these cymbals. Session Ace Shine and Session Ace Shimmer really do work hard to get all of that dirt out of the cymbal so that this cymbal can ring and really give you all of the tones that are there. So that's everything I've got for you this week. Listen, be awesome to everybody you meet. Be extra awesome to yourself. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you. Thanks so much. Oh, and if you want to see more videos like this one, make sure you go click that right there. Go ahead and click it. I can't keep holding this. Yeah, that one right there.